Good day. Um, in this video, I'm going to report the topic about the CDI for traffic enforcement. So before I am going to report, I'll first introduce myself. So I am Troy Alessandro C. Campo, criminology student at Holy Cross of Davao College. So now I am 20 years old. My hobbies are playing basketball, watching movies, documentaries, and playing computer games like Dota or Valorant. So I love nature also and peaceful place. So and I want to be in a profession that serves the people. So that's all. So now let's tackle about the traffic law enforcement. Traffic law enforcement means all police acts or operations which related to observing and detecting and preventing traffic violations and taking appropriate action under circumstances. So there is a particular police group that the main focus of operation is in the road. So they are the HPG or the highway patrol group. So we can always notice them patrolling along the roads, observing so they are observing sa mga mali sa drivers to give appropriate action for their violations. It pertains to enforcement of traffic accidents and type of violation. So it is part of the uh, traffic law enforcement, which involves arrest, citation, and warning of persons who violated the law. So traffic enforcement ensures the safety of the motorists and pedestrians. The traffic enforcement unit is responsible also for for keeping the roadways moving during delays, reroutes, and also mm, in the collision scenes. Also, they supervise the road users' compliance with the traffic legislations and punishment for non-compliance. So the aim of the of enforcement is to prevent the occurrence of road traffic violations by means of control and punitive sanctions. Also to prevent road accidents. Objectives of traffic. So law enforcement in the law enforcement. So is the agent and authority. So aside from their enforcing traffic-related laws, their function or responsibilities also to first regulate cross flow, control turning movement, coordinate vehicle movements, deter traffic. So deter traffic is to make the drivers go a different or less direct route if there is a problem in main roads. Next is supervise signal obedience. So sa mga traffic lights or sa mga signs. Then protect pedestrians and restrain pedestrian, meaning to prevent pedestrian from doing violations. Prevent illegal parking. Example of this are kanang sa mga bangketa. Illegal parking can cause traffic and congestion of the roads. So enforcers take appropriate actions for these violations. Next is provide for the safety passage of emergency vehicles. So emergency vehicles like 911 and providing smooth flow for the emergencies in the road. Next is assist people in seeking information. So there are people who are not familiar in the place or the road. So if there are people who are not familiar in a particular place or the road, enforcers are always available to assist persons who are lost or need information for the locations. Next is handle accidents, provide assistance to the accidents to minimize the damage resulting in fewer injuries and fatalities among accidents. So they also helps to control traffic and protect injured people. Next is carry out general police work within your AOR. So these are different functions. So all in all, these are the different functions shown in the screen. So the different functions or responsibilities of different traffic law enforcement. So let's proceed to the basic questions in apprehending traffic violators. So these are the common questions when apprehended by an officer when committing violations. Can I see your license? So they may ask to see your driver's license and registration as well as request any other type of documentation they may needed. So the officer will then look at the driver's license and insurance to ensure that they are valid, which also includes checking for any tickets against your name. Next is, what is your name? So to check if the real name is indicated in license. Next is, where are you going? So there are numerous cases of why the violation is committed and maybe the destination that the violators will go to is the reason. So diri mga tana sila sa kapadulong nganong ngana yung about sa place na place that you are going. Then next is, where have you been? So in cases where the driver is driving under the influence of alcohol, to connect the situation, the officer must question the violators about where is the last place he or she hangs before driving. Possible answers are club or birthday parties that leads to the violators in being drunk and commit a violation. Next is, will you walk over there? Then will you turn around and walk back to me? So these questions are applicable in violators or driving suspected to be under the influence of liquor or in drugs. So this is observation by officers of the movements of the violators. Most of the drunk drivers cannot walk properly, di ba? Because of the distorted or double vision. So making the violators turn around and walk can confirm if they are under the influence of alcohol or not. Next is kinds of enforcement action to traffic violators. First is the warning, reprimand. So warning or reprimand is issued by the officer is a statement that the motorist has committed some offense. So the motorist may receive the warning either verbally or written, but will not be charged with the offense. So the violator will not have to pay a fine and will not receive any points because it is just a warning for the violation committed. So depending on the laws of the jurisdiction, the warning may or may not appear on records visible to officers, which if it does could result in another stop within a fixed period of time leading to an actual citation. So or in some cases, the motorist may be charged with both offenses. Next is issuance of ticket citation. So it is a notice issued by a law enforcement official to a motorist or other road users indicating that the users has violated traffic laws. So if violators are apprehended and given a ticket citation, he or she must pay a fine for the violation committed. So depending on who apprehends the violators and where the violator apprehended, he or she will either need to go to the nearest city hall to pay for the penalties or needed to proceed to the nearest MMDA or City TMO headquarters. Next is confiscation of license, revocation, suspension. So note that only the Land Transportation Office or the LTO has the authority to confiscate driver's license, not the traffic police, including the highway patrol group, not traffic officers. So confiscated items may be immediately released after payment of the corresponding fines or penalties, provided that there is no accessory penalty and no suspension indicated in the resolution and the judgment. So example, if the apprehended operator or driver is required to attend the seminar exam before the release of the confiscated items. So the accessory penalty of this is the seminar or the exam. Next is the LTO have the power to revoke the non-professional driver's license, means that the holder shall be disqualified from being granted a license for a period of 2 years counted from the date of revocation. So meanwhile, a revoked professional driver's license means that the holder is perpetually disqualified from getting another license. The next is the suspension. So the license of the driver is temporarily seized due to his commission of traffic violations. Then the arrest, or apprehension and arrest is for major traffic violation, example accidents and damage to property. So holding of persons or detaining him to answer for law violation charge before the court. So apprehension and arrest can be done in accident or, for example, hit and run and other major traffic violation. Also, this occurs when a person is taken into police custody in connection with some type of major traffic violation. This often happens after an accident. For example, a driver hit a walking person and cause injury. So in some cases, the person may be handcuffed and read their Miranda rights. Then the last is the forced schooling. So forced schooling refers to a period of traffic education that is required for violators. So this is like going back and regaining traffic knowledge or to refresh the learnings about traffic rules to prevent further violation. Example of this are sa mga kanang jaywalking. So that the violation requires seminar na kailangan jud atinan. Next is relation of traffic control during traffic accident investigation. Immediate objective. So the immediate objective is enforcement action against the driver. Then ultimate objective is to change his future driving behavior. Important points to remember. So violators are vastly different from each other. Then there are many conflicts in violators, which is really true. Example, in car accident, driver always blame the other. That is stressful for the traffic enforcer. So much better if in that situation, is settle na lang in good terms decision between the two parties. Kini padugayon, much more hassle pa for the two sides and also for the enforcer. Next is let the violator remember why he was stopped. So always inform the violator for their violation for them to know why he or she was stopped. Next, be alert. So be alert because some violators have aggressive behaviors. So for example, makalitrag panumbag. So enforcers must be defensive and alert in apprehending. Next is let's proceed to the concept of patrol. So what is traffic patrol? So traffic patrol consists of driving or walking here and there in an area or to and from road for the purpose of traffic law enforcement and to provide traffic connected services to the public. So for the traffic enforcer, be able to watch over an area, it is necessary for them to drive or walk around an interval. So patrol is roaming around in certain area or area of responsibility and provide traffic law enforcement services while roaming around in order to have smooth flow of traffic and avoid accidents. Importance of traffic patrol: deter violation and dangerous driving. So because most drivers are afraid of being fined, the presence of traffic cops in the streets can prevent traffic violations or to deter violations. Then detect and apprehend violators. So if there is presence of traffic patrol and there is violations committed, then automatically there is apprehension because there is a traffic patrol. Then observe and report traffic conditions. Then observe and report road conditions. So they must also observe the roadways of what they have noticed, including traffic and road conditions while patrolling. Then they will feed back to the main headquarters to get information about current situations of the traffic and the road. And the next is to provide services to the public in connection with the emergencies and traffic. So they give services by assisting drivers and pedestrians on roads which where as where assistance was needed. So for example, in my experience in Ulas, there are no jeepneys available. So there are no jeepneys available after midnight because most of the jeepneys are completely loaded from downtown. And it is past 12, so a patrol stops in front of me and offers me a ride to Mintal. So they give services such as in my cases where I urgently need a ride. So I am very thankful for them because nakauli ko ato. Wala ko nagulat og dugay. Next is type of traffic patrol. So traffic patrol may conducted on area or line basis which refer to the stationary observation to detect drivers' behavior and observation of road condition. So traffic patrol is the most common for the enforcers. So just standing on the side of the road, just observing when drivers commit violation and apprehend when drivers commits. So we can always observe them no sa downtown na nagatambay lang sa side sa road waiting for violations to be committed. Line patrol. So line patrol conducts observation, either moving or stationary observation at a certain route or point of major street in a city. So uh, line patrol's main area of responsibility is a single major street. Thus, they will just stand by there for a few hours before moving to another place on the same street. While the area patrol conducts observation, either moving or stationary observation in a certain area, which include the number street of highway. So they conduct stationary and moving patrol in area patrol in the number of street and highways. So in this type of patrol, the area of responsibility is much larger than the line patrol because it consists of multiple streets. So magrobing sila dere in a large area. Then the next is stationary. So either visible or concealed depending upon the location. Then conspicuous or strategic. So stationary observation in which the observer is in full view of traffic condition. Then visible is observers is in full view. Then concealed observer is not visible. So this type of patrol is a surprise for the drivers. Then ang kaning visible is kana magtindog lang sila in full view. Purpose of traffic patrol: deterrent to violation and dangerous driving. Deterrent for violators in order for them to prevent from committing violations because of the presence of patrol. Then detecting and apprehending violations, observing and reporting traffic conditions, observing and reporting road conditions, provide certain services, handling emergencies, and keep traffic flow smooth. So I've tackled these purposes kanina sa importance of traffic patrol. So the question is, why is there a traffic patrol if we have a signal lights and signs? So because actual apprehension is much effective, no? Providing conditions and fines for violations by the enforcers inflicts fear or mahadlok ang mga driver na matagaan og tickets sa enforcer. Most importantly, maka-assist if there is accident happens to prevent further injuries and traffic. What is traffic accident? So, traffic accident occurs when a vehicle collides with another vehicle or pedestrian or animal, road, debris, or other stationary obstructions such as tree or utility pole. So, vehicle accidents are a major cause of death. So, it is typically sudden in nature and associated with injury, loss, or harm for other people. So, vehicle accidents are a common feature of a human experience and that result in injury or permanent disability to large numbers of people worldwide. So, many accidents also involve damage or loss of property. So accidents can occur anywhere in the road. There are numerous causes of traffic accident that we will tackle on the next slide. Cause of traffic accident. So first is the negligence and imprudence. So negligence indicates a deficiency of perception. So a person fails to pay proper attention to use due to diligence in foreseeing the injury or damage impending to because there in negligence. So negligence usually involves lack of skills. So negligence ito yung kapabayaan or lack of awareness about happenings around and cause an accident. Next is imprudence. So indicates deficiency of action. A person fails to take necessary precaution to avoid injury to a person or damage to property. So there is imprudence. So imprudence usually involves lack of skill. So imprudence is walang ingat sa pagmamaneho or reckless sa pagdadrive. So drivers should always be precautious when driving along the highways to avoid accident. Next is causes of traffic accident. So direct causes. Usually only 4 direct causes are considered in accident investigation, such as first is initial behavior. So initial behavior is a behavior that initial behavior. So behavior has a role in road accidents as well. For example, a driver might easily become enraged, which can lead to imprudent driving. So that is the initial behavior. Then the speed. So we all know that speed is the most common most common cause of accident. So speeding contributes to car accidents in the following ways. Higher speed increase your chances of losing control. Speeding drivers may be more likely to accidentally swerve into oncoming traffic or nearby barriers. Next is delayed perception. So this is the lack of ability of a driver to perceive the potential hazards resulting into actual accident. So example, ang driver kita siya naguot kayo pero gi-insist jud niya na makalusot siya and the result is nasangit siya sa other car. So that is driver's delay in perceiving the potential hazards. Next is faulty evasive action. So it said na avoid ang accident but you didn't do it. We didn't you didn't do anything to avoid accident, so that's faulty evasive action. Immediate and early causes. So immediate cause of an accident is an irregular or unusual vehicular condition of a vehicle, the road, the weather, or of a road user, driver, or pedestrian that explains one of the four direct causes of an accident: the initial behavior, speed, delayed perception, and faulty evasive action. In the early causes, an early cause of an accident results from the act of any individual or the failure to act by any person, which creates conditions leading to the chain of events making up an accident. So the early cause of an accident is an act of negligence on the part of an individual or an organization which causes or permits immediate cause to exist. So example of this is if a newbie driver diretso drive sa kasada, then reckless kayo siya drive and encounter a slippery road and the driver has a lack of skill to control the car, causing to an accident. So let's proceed to the concept of traffic investigation. Traffic accident investigation determines the following: what happened, when and who was involved, where did it happen and why did it happen, then how did the accident occur. So let's proceed to the initial steps approach of traffic investigator. So first is the prompt arrival at the scene of an accident is essential. So it means that arrival at the scene without delay is crucial. So they must be quick and always ready at all times. Safety, however, should be emphasized at all times. While in route, the traffic investigator should maintain contact with the dispatcher. So because dispatcher is able to gather a lot of high quality, vitally important information that can help first responders from an early understanding of what they will be facing upon arrival at the emergency scene. So that they will be updated for the current situation, making them ready. Next is they should also be on the lookout for any suspicious or damaged vehicles fleeing the area. So observance is very important if naay mga suspicious vehicles na makasugat kay possible na naay relation to the accident scene. Next is the importance of sketch in traffic investigation. So sketches, depending on type of and severity of accident, sketches are made which may range from a simple sketch on the accident's form to detailed scale drawings on separate sheets. So sketches serves for purposes, so help explain the accident, help the investigator reveal facts, locate any given point at the scene, serves as the basis for accurate scale drawings. So field sketches are made at the scene and are used to support the officer's original notes. So the following information must be placed on sketches and scale drawings to be understood. So for example, time of the accident. This includes the date and or names of the roads. If on rural highways, distance must be shown to the nearest identifiable landmark. Then also the direction of north is included. Then report or case number is also included. So all in all, the sketch provide detailed information about the scene, so, and demonstrate the location of vehicles and other related physical evidence. So it allows reconstruction of the crash scene to determine how it happened. So in minor cases, sketches will be sufficient. So these things are much easier to see and comprehend with good, clear accident reconstruction graphic. So it's easy to see how this type of visual documentation helps to provide a much more compelling account of the accident than a written or verbal description. Next is the importance of skid mark in traffic investigations. So Such marks are important evidence for vehicular accident reconstruction when their size and shape can reveal much about vehicle speed and forces of acceleration or deceleration. So they can be used to determine speed and establish the path of the vehicle while skidding. So the length of the skid mark is usually closely related to the vehicle speed at instant of braking. So, sa mga wala kabalo unsa ang skid mark? So, ang skid mark is the long black mark left on a road surface by the tires of a skidding vehicle. So, the proper identification of skid marks is an important part of an accident investigation. So, each tire mark is produced by a specific action of the vehicle. That's why during the traffic accident event, that's why they are very important. So, tire marks can tell the private investigator about or the investigator about what the driver did or attempted to do prior to a collision. So, a point of impact or an area of impact can be determined, which is extremely important part of the traffic investigation by the skid mark. So, measuring the skid mark provides an estimation of the original speed. So, unfortunately, tire marks or skid marks evidence has a lifespan, so they are affected by weather, sunlight, and traffic. So skid marks can be erased. So it must the investigation about about the skid mark or related to skid mark must be done immediately. Next and last, the last is the importance of photograph in traffic investigations. So photographs are used to supplement an accident investigation and written report concerning the accident. So, when used in court testimony, they help indicate, explain the chain of events. So, photographs, however, never take the place of an investigator or a report. So, the investigators should take as many pictures as necessary to properly depict the accidents. Kumbaga, the more pictures you capture, the more detailed the information that the pictures provide. So, they should represent what is actually seen by investigator, the scale, angles of view, color, and light should be as nearly like what is seen as possible so that it will help for the investigation. So that's all. Thank you and God bless her.